Hello guys, and welcome to the first official review for this gameplay channel. Today we're going to be looking at Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction. I'll be telling you about the solo campaign, multiplayer campaign, and just the gameplay in general. This is all my opinion. This is not influenced by Ubisoft. And with that said, let's get going. To start, the solo campaign, in my opinion, is probably the best in the franchise. Yes, Chaos Theory was new. Yes, Pandora Tomorrow brought some stuff to the table. And yes, Double Agent, you were a double agent. However, the fact that you're going after your daughter's killer in this just brings, it becomes more emotional. You can feel how angry Sam is, just in the way he grunts, in the way in the brutal takedowns, in the brutal interrogations. You can just see his emotions. They're on full effect for the game, and I like that. I like the story. At some points it doesn't make sense, but at others it's like, yes, I like that. That makes sense. I love how they implemented so many new mechanics, such as mark and execute and cover takedowns. Those are two big ones. I do believe that some people frown upon this game, mostly because it started the edge away from the general Splinter Cell series, in being sneaky, avoid killing as much as possible, and just, if you have to absolutely knock someone out, one or two people is the most you can do. This game takes that, says, no, I don't care, and says, go kill people, mark and execute, no non-lethal takedowns, you're snapping everyone's neck. And there's a reason for that. Sam is angry. He found who killed his daughter. He's angry people have covered it up from him. And he's just pissed at everyone. And you can see that in basically every interrogation, every takedown, everything like that. The multiplayer campaign was probably one of the two... The two campaigns were the best two parts of this game, in my opinion. The multiplayer campaign was fantastic. Imagine Chaos Theory, but it's not Agents 1, Agent 2. It's Archer and Kestrel. Archer works for Third Echelon. Kestrel works for the Russian Voron. Basically Russia's version of Third Echelon, or that kind of group. The ending to that is fantastic. Basically what they do in general is fantastic. Love that. There are some scenes where it's like, oh, you could have done this. But the interrogations in that are even more brutal, in my opinion, than this. You stick someone's face in burning oil and then could kick his head into a freezer. That's pretty bad. I do like your friend is hostage, like they have him in a human shield kind of hold, and that they can distract them to give you a shot to kill their attacker. I do like that mechanic. I find it's a great thing. The ending of this, where you are forced to 1v1 in a plane and you both are absolutely silent, and just, the intensity is pretty high. It's pretty intense. You gotta check everywhere. You're not wearing armor, so basically one or two shot kills you. But just the way they implemented that in this game, and how it takes place, it makes sense in the story, and it also takes place before the campaign, is just fantastic. I loved it. You can also see their two bodies in Coben's mansion. If you go down on the floor, there is an open body sack, and you can see Archer's body. So the next thing, gameplay, I loved it. I don't see how you could hate it. It was new mechanics, the storyline, being able to just interrogate people with different objects, such as bashing their heads into computer screens, breaking their heads on a toilet, breaking their heads on a faucet. There were so many options, and it didn't dramatically change the storyline. It didn't change the storyline at all. However, at the end, if you decide to spare Reed instead of kill him, you do get a couple extra seconds of footage of him and Grim arguing, which is nice. My overall experience with this game was pretty high. On computer, if you don't have the proper settings, it's at first it's a nightmare to run. After that, though, it's pretty smooth. I gave it 5 to 10 minutes before it started running decently smooth on the lowest settings, but it ran smooth nonetheless. The way they implemented the different multiplayer modes, such as deniable ops, that was a great thing. You could play as a single person or multiple people, multiplayer or single player on deniable ops, playing as archer or kestrel with whatever weapons you wanted. And there was like infiltration, where you had to kill all the enemies silently. Another one was basically survival, where you just have to survive hordes of enemies. The things like that made this game great, and I am happy for that. With that in mind, this game does have flaws. The mark and execute is a little overpowered in this game. I wish they would have toned it down. The cover system kind of makes it, it's kind of like, why would that be sneaky instead of walking silently over the cover? Overall, though, this game is fantastic. I'd say definitely pick it up if you're into stealth games. My grade is 8.5 out of 10. I will see you guys later.
I've talked to Sam once since he left. He told me that he and Sarah were going to take some time to catch up. He talked about learning who was really important to you, why you always had to come back for him. He talked about family. And you know what the last thing he said to me was, just before he hung up? Vicky said, "Thanks for everything. I love you like a brother." Brother, that's family, right? Yeah. I thought so.